Hello, what's the crack? My name is Oisin Davis from Great Irish Beverages, and I want to talk to you about one of my favorite drinks of all time, the Irish coffee. A very simple drink to make, but unfortunately it's also very simple to mess it up. So I want to share with you my do's and don'ts of the Irish coffee. So let's talk whiskey. First and foremost, you have to use Irish whiskey. That might sound stupidly obvious, but unfortunately, I have been served Irish coffees that were made either with Scotch or with bourbon, and that is totally not cool, absolutely bang out of order. Then, if you can, try and use Irish whiskey that has a little bit of pot still in it, such as Powers Gold Label here. The little bit of pot still that's in the Powers has an extra spice in it, and that will carry through really, really nicely into your Irish coffee. And now onto the coffee. The ratio of coffee to whiskey is extremely important. You want to go with 3 parts coffee to 1 part whiskey. For this particular Irish coffee, I went with 35 ml of the whiskey and then just over 100 ml then of the coffee. The coffee itself should be a medium roast, okay? A darkly roasted coffee is going to be too bitter. A lightly roasted coffee is going to be too fruity. A medium roast is just absolutely perfect for an Irish coffee, in my opinion. And I like to use Moyee Coffee because Moyee is a fair chain coffee company, okay? And what fair chain means is that the beans themselves are roasted and packed in the countries where they source them from. It actually leaves 300% more into the local economies that they buy the coffee from. A really, really good system because honestly, the coffee systems around the world for the coffee producing nations are really, really broken. And Moyee are the only coffee company in Ireland and the UK that are actually trying to fix it, okay? Try and imagine if the Irish could grow barley, but we're not allowed to make whiskey. That's the reality for so many coffee producing nations, and Moyee, thankfully, are on board to fix that. You've got to get your glassware right too. Now, the Georgian Irish coffee glass that I have here is spot on because it holds the perfect ratio of coffee to whiskey, which as we said earlier, so 3 parts whiskey is 3 parts coffee to 1 part whiskey. As you can see, it squeezes in nice and snug there, right? A lot of the time, unfortunately, I get served Irish coffees in hot toddy glasses like this. This glass is too big for an Irish coffee because if you put in a 35 ml shot of whiskey there and then top it all the way up with coffee, it's going to be way too much coffee and you're not going to get a taste of the lovely whiskey in there. It just doesn't work. Sugar and cream, lads. Now, if you want to have a really richly tasting, proper, satisfying Irish coffee, you've got to use brown sugar, okay? You cannot use white sugar. Keep that white sugar for your tea or for something else, right? It's gotta be brown sugar. And when it comes to cream, now I'm very, very serious about this. The cream on top of your Irish coffee, if I see anyone with this absolute muck out of a tin, I would give them a good slap, right? This does not need to be anywhere near an Irish coffee. You've got to use proper, fresh Irish cream. All you need to do is shake it up and then pour it on with the back of a spoon. It's that simple. This stuff is muck. Onto the all-important garnish, the final flourish for the Irish coffee. You've got to go with some fresh nutmeg. Nutmeg will bring out the spice in the whiskey and it'll give it a lovely, beautiful, fresh aroma, okay? And that's why you've got to use a grater with some fresh nutmeg. You don't want to use the stuff that comes out of a jar because it's powdered and it's been sitting around there probably for years, okay? And you don't want to use things like chocolate or other bits and pieces of strange frivolities. You've got to use fresh nutmeg. That's the classic way to have an Irish coffee. There you have it, folks. My do's and don'ts for the Irish coffee. You have been warned. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Jeff and Maura from 57 Headliner, where we shot this today. I want to give a big shout out as well to my good friends in Moyee Coffee. If you want to get yourself some fair chain coffee for Christmas or beyond, check out www.moyeecoffee.ie. It's available all around Ireland and the UK. Sláinte. Oh, yes.